Random disclaimer.
Joe, good old Joe. You old stalking, invasion of privacy, manipulator, murderer, and you're good at cover-ups, and you love to do a moral justification. We watched Joe Goldberg, the main antagonist. I don't freaking know. However you feel, if you a sympathizer or not, this dude, we watched this man for 5 fucking seasons. Get away with so much stuff, and when I came into season 5, I thought to myself, if this ninja walk out of here scot-free, I'm about to kick my TV with both feet. Season 1, he was manipulating and stalking Beck and eventually murdered her, some dude named Benji, Peaches, whatever her name is, and got away with it. Had a new identity, covered these bitches up, framed people, in the whole 9 yards. On to season 2, just like last season, he found another obsession. Her name is Love Quinn, and he stalked her, manipulated her. Was she slightly crazy? Hell yeah. Did a lot of gaslighting, some murders. Who he murdered in that season? Candace 44, whatever his name is, and some other people. I don't remember, like 1 or 2. I don't know, I lost count. He be murdering people, and of course, like always, he be covering up staging deaths. And he loved that freaking glass cage. I forgot to mention, he had a glass cage that first season that he just he got a lot of emotional attachment to that. And then we move on to season 3 because he ain't get caught. Now I'm going to season 3. He's feeling nice and privileged. You know, he got a new crib. You know, he about to be a daddy, or he is a daddy this season. I'm freaking Ripper. And he with Love. They love progressing, all this other stuff. But he found another person to stalk. He murdered during the season, and he murdered some dude named Andrew. And then I think he kidnapped a couple and put them inside the freaking cage. And then he went ahead and gaslit Love and lying, manipulating. And you know what? He found out Love's freaking crazy too, and she tried to get his ass back. I'm not gonna lie, that season I was like, wow, Love really gonna take him out. Nah, lies, psych. No. So moving on to season 4, because he still didn't get caught. I don't know who Joe goes through to get these freaking identities. They probably revealed him in season 5, and I was not paying attention because I was taking so many notes. My hand's hurting right now. But yeah, he somehow got some money to go overseas, and now he a professor. He got a job. He hang out with these rich folks and having a good old funky time. You don't hear smashing and dashing. I'm just kidding, not smashing and dashing. But he has a new love named Kate. Girl, you too rich for this. But yeah, of course he stalked and manipulated her and all this other stuff. And then eventually they went on a little trip. It was in a little mini mansion. And I believe a bunch of people got slaughtered. If I'm not mistaken, some dude named Malcolm, Simon, Vic, somebody named Gamma. A lot of things happened in that season. I was over here like, man, there's a serial killer on the loose. Yes, it's him. It's Joe. Joe's a serial killer. He's fucking crazy. And guess what? He didn't get freaking caught. He blamed it on some poor student and locked her ass up. So we're moving on to the final season. And now that you caught up, let me tell you about my notes. Since I'm a Joe expert, you know, from what I, deemed myself. Yeah, he has a formula. He likes stalking, do an invasion of privacy, manipulate people. But if he can't manipulate you or control you, he gonna murder you. Covered it up, blame somebody else probably. And he's gonna have a moral justification of why he did it. It ain't no real justification. And then when he needs to dip and split, identity theft, bruh. Pack this man up. Okay, so Joe got his baby back, the one that he dumped on the steps of some person's house in season 3. Yeah, got it back. You know why? Because his freaking wife's rich and she owns a company and they murked her dad. Okay, anyway, besides the point. Yeah, and he's in magazines, she in magazines, crazy ass life. But his next obsession is to protect Katie's image, to make sure, guess what? Let's all say together, to keep the lifestyle up because she's fucking rich. Anyway, so what does he do while his girl working? He's sneaking out to write murder novels because he got a hard on for murder. And also, one of Katie's close people was trying to snitch her out, and Joe was able to get some murdering on again because he murdered him. Pack his ass up already next. So move on to episode 2. We found out that Henry is beating ass in school, and the school thinks that he's a danger. If only y'all knew. So the lady that was reporting this to the family, she was reading Joe down to like the T, and I was like, girl, you on to something. Lock this man up. And we found out the girl that he hit is his freaking cousin. So in order to like amend things, yeah, Katie tried to invite her family over, trying to smooth everything over, and I don't think it went well because we find out that her sister Reagan, she kind of uptight and kind of bitchy, and she got a husband and a little kid named Gretchen that got her ass whipped at school. Besides the point, yeah, we kind of find out that Reagan was talking ish about Katie, not Love, Henry's biological mom that got clapped by Joe. I had to throw that out there. Anyway, we found out later on that episode that Joe got a library back, and he also has the cage back. And the prior episode, somebody broke into the library. He let her go. Her name Bronte. Guess what? She back in this episode breaking into the freaking library in the cage because of some fucking books. I don't believe in one bit. Fast forward, we are back at dinner in this episode, and you know, stuff is flying around the table, blah 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 blah. Reagan said that she's going to come after Henry, their entire life, Katie's seat at the company, and the whole company itself. And of course, Henry was overhearing everything. See, this is the problem. Children need to stay in children's places. Don't be listening about no grown folks' business. Yeah, threw a knife at his freaking aunt. Hit her too, but hey, she ain't die. But at this point, lock his ass up too. Now Katie's scared and concerned from Henry. They need some therapy. Fast forward, yeah, Joe got a notification that that girl is stuck in that freaking box, so he went down to get Bronte. He lashes out at her, she blabs and stuff, and starts talking about his work. She critiques it, and surprisingly he walks, Bronte, yeah, she walks away free. Skipping over that, we find out that Joe sets his sights on Reagan, because like I said, he clapped Bob. Okay, now he going after Reagan because, like Reagan said, she's coming after A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and he ain't gonna have that because he have a cushy life. Now, remember I mentioned that Joe's new obsession is to protect Katie's image? Yeah, he's about to go real far with this one. So he decided to kidnap freaking Reagan and put her in a cage. But guess what? After he found so-called Reagan smashing her husband in some weird foreplay stuff, yeah, he threw him in a cage and found out that's not even Reagan, it's Maddie. Maddie is Katie's other sister. Katie has two sisters and a side brother, you know, because, you know, her dad was throwing that dick around. But anyway. So now we have Joe talking to Maddie, and he's trying to figure out, you know, what to do with Maddie. But Maddie's putting all the pieces together, and ain't gonna lie, Maddie, you was so right about Joe, and I thought you was dumb as hell. And I forgot to mention, Maddie's a twin of Reagan, so that's why Joe got confused. Anyway, the entire episode, Joe trying to figure out what to do with Maddie. He had a few ways, and they didn't really work. Fast forward, Joe's hanging out with his new worker, Bronte. But we found out her real name is Louise, which is kind of basic, so I'm gonna go with Bronte. Sorry, talking about Joe here. Anyway, Joe tells Maddie that Reagan knows about this smash session. You know, her and, you know, Reagan's husband, you know, because they're not together. Anyway, she freaks out. So now he focuses back on Bronte. Joe loves these women that are helpless and needs his help. Damn, he wants to save everybody. Calm down. Reagan eventually finds out about the affair and she's seething in it. And that caused Joe to have a brilliant idea that would help Maddie out and help him out because, according to Joe, Reagan's the problem. I'm saying a mouthful right now, I'm getting thirsty, but on to episode 4. Yeah, Joe's trying to fight the urge to cheat. He's trying to clap them Bronte cheeks. And Katie's over here working on her spot at the company, trying to keep it. Reagan's trying to overthrow Katie, and she wanted to let her know it and rub on her freaking face. But Katie just wanted all this headache. All this bullying makes Katie want to quit, and she tells Joe where she fucked up that. So Joe's like, oh no, my money cow. He got desperate, plans to kill Reagan, so he ends up getting his ass whooped at the crib, and it was so quite amazing. Oh my goodness. Reagan, please do that again. But he eventually captures Reagan, and Reagan is thrown in a cage with Maddie. While in the cage, the sisters, you know, complain and moan about their past and their personalities, their relationships. And Maddie's really trying to see the good in Reagan, but Reagan, for some reason, really does not like Maddie. To make a long rant short, Joe's plan works. Surprise, surprise. He gets everything he wants. Damn. Maddie agrees to be Reagan, and she went ahead and put the little ointment in Reagan's neck, and she gone. She ain't coming back. She ain't coming to season. Oh, forgot. This is the final season. As promised, Maddie's let out the cage because she pretends to be Reagan, and Katie is around Maddie and she's getting slightly suspicious. It's making Joe kind of pissed. And also, lastly, this episode, he decides to smash Bronte. Episode 5, finally. So Joe's still having his affair with Bronte. Katie knows all the information about Joe because she went ahead and requested whoever investigated him the prior season. Yeah, she said, yeah, F all that scrubbing, let me see it all. And she realized that she's scared of Joe. So Katie tells her brother, you know, the side baby, his name is Teddy. He pretty cool. He all-star, and he promises not to tell anyone. So Bronte, going back to Bronte, unleashed Joe after the sex session was cut short because Joe was getting called from Maddie. Maddie's trying to tell Joe that she's getting haunted by Reagan and her freaking sister. Fast forward, Joe's trying to read to his son in their marital bed, you know, him and Katie's marital bed. He finds a knife, confronts Katie, find out it's her knife, and, you know, about her not trusting him. They have an argument. He leaves. Fast forward, Bronte's missing. He get a little desperate to find her. So desperate, in fact, that he breaks into her ex's apartment, finds her location. They smash again in some beach house. How romantic. And the eggs popped up. A fight ensues. He tries to save Bronte because allegedly he's getting kind of aggressive. And Joe, this is the point where you should be minding your business, but this whole 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons, sorry, not 6 seasons, yeah, you have to not mind your business. But yeah, he kills Bronte's ex. Yeah, and there's 2 people hiding off to the side recording everything online. That means the whole world witnessed a murder. Ban y'all accounts. Also, throughout the whole episode, Katie's trying to determine why Reagan stepped down because Maddie is playing Reagan. Maddie, as Reagan, told the company that she's going to step down, but Maddie gonna keep her job, all that stuff. However, Maddie's not doing a good job, so she fails at keeping up the act. Katie finally knows about the truth, the affair, the cage, the murder of her sister Reagan, everything. Next episode, I'm exhausted. Now we're gonna be in the jail. Bronte's having flashbacks about how they got to the point they are. I guess during her police interview, she was thinking about all the things that they done. And I guess they're interviewing Joe. I don't know. He the suspect. And I guess she got a conscience or she felt a little bit bad. Yeah, she told the cops that Joe was defending her. And guess what? He got out. Oh my goodness. But in the flashback, we found that the so-called ex is not really her ex, and these so-called 2 friends is not really her friends. They're just a group of people that go around getting justice for each other or other people, and they're just like a vigilante group. I think I said that wrong, but we're gonna keep on going. And also at the end, Katie finds out about all this, fling stuff. And also she tells Joe all that she knows. Katie, you don't shut the hell up because you know this man's crazy. Next, episode 7. Which is Joe doesn't have accountability for his actions, the affair, the kidnappings, the stalking, his now soon-to-be divorce, Katie taking custody of freaking Henry, and blaming all this shit on Bronte. Sir, for what? Anyway, you go see Bronte. She feels kind of bad for Joe. She wants out of this little vigilante group, and Bronte's accomplices are kind of pissed. They're like, you know what, we're gonna start a viral social media campaign because they realize they can let Joe walk free in peace. Which kind of weird because all of Joe's past people that he used, abused, lied on, other people that's affected by his actions, was speaking up on social media, and Joe tried to salvage his reputation by seeking help through Maddie. So he got Maddie to help. This caused people to feel Joe again. He got a little sympathizers. He got a little fan base. Towards the end of the episode, Bronte got kidnapped. His ass was stalking Bronte, of course, because he thinks Bronte was trying to slight him. Saves her. She wakes up in handcuffs in the bed in the library apartment, blah, 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 blah. And Katie teamed up with that student he put in jail. Well, helped put in jail last season. And they'd agreed to take Joe down for good. Maddie and Joe tries to break Reagan's husband because Reagan's husband found out that Maddie's not Reagan. So... they had to kidnap him, put him in a cage so they can break him because Joe obviously got that Riz, he got that aura or something. He be, I don't know. So Joe was trying to turn Bronte into him essentially because he actually took the guy that was trying to kidnap her, put him in a different cage. So she's trying to break him too, get some answers. She tried to use Joe's tactics, blah, blah, blah. Henry knows that Joe hurts people and he told Katie or somebody that he don't care. He ain't afraid of him. So not afraid, in fact, that he was bold enough to call his daddy. Henry, you're overseas because they trying to run from your dad. Wake up, bro. And during their conversation, he told his dad that, I heard you going to jail. So Joe snaps. Was like, nah, that ain't gonna happen. So he felt free. And I believe he's bracing the dark side. Oh, brother. Next episode, episode 9. Wow, we're almost to the end. Okay, so episode 9, yeah. So Joe somehow, he's very charismatic, I guess. So he framed Maddie and Reagan's husband for Reagan's murder because I guess he couldn't break Reagan's husband. So he pulled a Hail Mary. Katie gets aggressive by shutting out all his accounts, locked him out of the library, which had his crib attached at the top, and Joe gets pissed. He crashes out and decides he has to kill Katie. But surprise, surprise, Joe, Katie is rich as hell. That was never gonna work. Or Joe ends up in his own cage, and guess who we see? Katie, the student, in a familiar face. I believe her name is Marianne, and they gang up on him. Also, before they gang up on him, yeah, Katie finally met Bronte face to face. She said, "Girl, get your ass up for a call, please." Anyway, fast forward back to the cage. I was loving it. Pack his ass up, but I got slightly pissed because we have a flashback earlier in the episode, and I couldn't believe it because ain't no way on earth. Boy, ain't no way. Joe knew to insert a key in his body for safekeeping, so he literally cut his forearm open and had a spare key in his body This man got plot armored than I don't know what. He need to be in an anime or something. So he got out, got Katie's gun or whoever gun, shot her in the stomach. Maddie came in at an interesting time and locked Joe down in the basement because he was coming up the stairs. And she decided to set the place on fire. She kind of snapped. Set the bitch on fire. He was like, yo, sister downstairs. She really believed it because he a liar, bro. But Bronte come in kicking and screaming. Sorry, not screaming. Yeah, saves Joe from the fire. Just said, fuck Katie. Not girl power. And it got out. And when it got out, Joe proposed to her. And we get something new. We have Bronte's perspective. So I was like, you know what? Let me go give her another chance because I feel like she's about to take his ass down. Drum roll. We're at the final episode. And guess what? Joe got away again. He's just too easy with his love interest again. Bronte. They driving somewhere. I don't freaking know. We found out they don't know themselves. They stop at a gas station, get some snacks, some service and stuff. Bronte runs into a cop. He didn't recognize her or the car they're in or whatever. They eventually found a crib to squat at. I don't know why he do to squat at this crib, but they're pretty much living out a fantasy of the simple life, something that Joe always dreamed of. He just want to get away with Bronte. Later on that night, Bronte, when it was getting like freaky dicky, yeah, she showed her true feelings and she was like, yeah, no, fuck you. So Joe half naked. I was kind of surprised that she did that to him at the moment. He's vulnerable right now. But she makes him read Beck's book, call his son. He said his goodbyes. But this is where she fucked up. She said, give me your phone, you freaking idiot. They have a whole fight. To make a long commentary, I can't get it out. I've been talking so long. To make a long commentary short, he kills Bronte. So he's running through the woods with some drawers on. He kills a park ranger, surprisingly. And psych, Bronte's back. I fooled y'all. Then she distracted Joe. She had his all epilogue, all this other stuff. Hold on, did I say that right? We'll keep going. And this leads to the ending I wanted. So Joe go to jail. Amen. I was so tired of this freaking man. I can't. He was not fooling me with the, justification. No, fuck your justification. Anyway, Maddie and Reagan's husband live happily ever after because, look, let's just face it. They really loved each other. I thought it was more than smashing. Plus, they having a baby too. Good job. Bronte is shown as a hero. She revises Beck's book. I guess she still ran her own books. Yeah, Katie is actually alive. She survived the fire, chilling. She still has baby Henry. Teddy, the other brother. Yeah, he's the CEO of the company. All right, black man in power, period. What's her name? Mary Ann, she's back to doing artwork. She got her artwork displayed. And lastly, the most satisfying thing I saw all series. I see Joe's pitiful ass and Joe getting fan mail. I had no remorse looking at that scene. That's the end of the series. Amen. Thank you, Netflix, because if you would have got away, I swear to you, I would have crashed out, I would have kicked my TV with both feet, and I would send your ass as an invoice because ain't no way, Joe. Boy, ain't no way.